So you can see I've moved the design along, I've placed windows, so I'm just going to show you how you might place windows. So similar to AutoCAD, AutoCAD uses blocks, but Revit uses what we call families. So I'm just going to place some window families within our project. So if I just select window here, it brings up any family that is loaded into this, or any window family specifically that's loaded into this project. So we've got a series of them here. I can load in more windows if I want. Going into my library, just select windows, and depending on what style you want, you're able to load these in. When you load in families, it loads in the style, and then there's a number of different sizes and widths attached to that. So this one's a double pane with one side opening, and you can see various different you know, with fan lights and triple sections and stuff like that as well. And you've also got double sections and double fan lights as well at the top. So I'm going to use just a plain window I have installed. So you can see a window will only jump to a wall. It won't stick to a roof or anything that's trying to jump to the wall. So I'm just going to place this anywhere here. Now I have resized this window just to show you. I was able to duplicate this window and resize from a smaller one. So I originally started with this one, I hit duplicate, renamed it to 2 meters by 3.5 meters, and just resized it using the type properties in there. So this one I'm going to set to level 0. Set to level 0. I'm just going to set the offset to 0 from the sill height, and I'm going to leave that at, I'm going to change that to 1000 from the outside. I'm just going to jump to my elevation here, and I'm just going to start copying this window across as well. So I've added in some more windows, but you can also see that I've also edited the roof. So all I did, I basically went into the extrude the roof that we already created, just went to edit profile, and I basically just using the line tool, I just created some zigzag lines and just hit correct, hit your tick mark, and that basically produces a roof of that style. If that's what you're into, we'll just show you how you might create some sort of cool, interesting designs using the Revit roof tool. And you can see I've placed windows around, I've duplicated them, added them on, and went on. I didn't have to show you the kind of replicated work that I'd already demonstrated. So I'm just going to show you how to maybe add some internal walls now. So I'm going to jump to my level 0. So I've got a floor plan here, and similar to placing, exact same as placing external walls, I'm going to select architectural wall, but I want to place partitions, internal partitions. So I'm just going to select whatever's in here already. So we've got a 70, 100 blockwork. So we'll choose that one for now. So we're going to assume that this is some sort of school or something. And you can also see that I've placed what I've used here, curtain walling, which is a very handy tool. So basically that's just, it's another type of wall. So from your wall drop down, the walls we're already using are up here. So from your wall drop down, if you go to curtain wall, just select that, and curtain wall storefront, that will automatically change that to a wall. So I'll just show you how I did that. So I'm just going to select this one. As the previous wall, it's just a blank wall we had that we'd already drawn, and then just going to down and select storefront, and that's going to bring me, and that's going to place that wall there. Now we can tidy up all of this floor detail later on, but just to see how it's getting on. So this essentially is our entrance into our school building. I'm going to jump into our level 0 now. I'm just going to start placing some walls. Select the wall tool, and color partition is selected. So this is the entrance of our building. I'm just going to start kind of randomly designing here, and so you can see these markers here. These are our elevation markers that are placed by default. I'm just going to pull them out. I'm just going to select them all, pull them out. If I actually hover over that, you can see that's my elevation distance. I'm going to pull that back. We will cover that in another video. I'm going to move that there and place that there so they're kind of out of the way. So WA is my wall shortcut on my keyboard as well. So I'm just going to start kind of modeling here. So we've got a nice entrance atrium in here. I'm going to start placing some classrooms around the perimeter of the building. So obviously we don't want one hopping into a window, so we can move our window to accommodate the building. Form follows function, as they say. Some classrooms there. WA again is going to start dividing this up into a series of spaces, and I'm going to use something called what we call a room tag. I'm going to type in, no, actually I'm going to go on screen just to show you, something called a room tag, or you can use an area tag as well. I'm going to use a room tag, and basically this creates a room bounded by model elements, so walls and stuff like that. You can see it there. I'm just going to place that in. This is going to give me my floor area, so I know roughly what kind of size I'm dealing with. If I click that, it's 154 square meters, which is quite big, so we can possibly start dividing that into smaller spaces. So I'm going to divide this into big principal spaces for now, and then we can start creating corridors and stuff off that. So again, WA just to place your wall tool, and then using the room tag, you're able to tag those rooms with that information. So when I type RM, or sorry, after I type RM, I place my room, you want to tag that as a room. So you can tag all not tagged, or you can hit tag room. Just going to hover over that, and that's going to bring up the square meter of that. If I then move this wall, if I move this wall, for example, you can see that square meter has updated automatically as well. So I'm just obviously I don't want it on the wall join. I'm just going to place that there. I'm just going to start copying this wall across that kind of equal distance to what we already have set out. So there, that was already done. So we can zoom. I'll leave that one as kind of a bigger size, and I'll show you about placing this onto sheets in a moment as well. So I'm going to start placing doors same way as placing windows. Got doors, anything that's loaded in is in here already. So you can load in more families if you want. I'm just going to choose one of nice wide door. Just going to start placing that as access into each room. So that's essentially how you place doors. And all of these doors can be scheduled as well into quantities and stuff like that as well, which I'll go into in more detail later.